Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash.
Double honor to our apostles and the elders, the great millstone that has taught us the truth and sincere argument that are out there with His word and sincerity. While we're here once again to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom, which you call America, which is called Babylon the Great in the scriptures. All right, and to tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who you are according to the Bible. Okay, and who your enemy is, who the so-called white man is, who he's been hiding himself for so long, but he's in these last days he's being revealed of his true nationality. All right, his true character. Okay, so we'll get that second after 6 and 7 because we're at the end of an era. We're in the latter days. We're at the end of a Esau's world. Okay, so we'll get there.
Second Ezra 6:7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it as followeth? And he said unto me, Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau.
So everything goes back to Jacob and Esau, okay? And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Israelites scattered amongst the heathen nations are the seed of Jacob. All right, princes of the power. All right, and Esau is the so-called white man. All right, and that's what it's all about. That's what the struggle. Then we're going to get to that where it all began. All right, because before you jakes can wake up, you got to realize who you are and who your enemy is. All right, and this ain't meant for all Israel to wake up. Or it's only meant for a remnant, the elect, to get this truth, to get this knowledge, to get this wisdom and this understanding. All right, but first you got to get to the basics. All right, because Jake want to skip over the basics and get into the deep things, get into the meat. You gotta stick to the basics. He said Jacob and Esau were born to him. Read it again, bro. He's still yeah.
It says, and he said unto me from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So who is Esau? All right, and we know who Esau is. All right, so our people don't know who Esau is. Our people try to say that Esau is the heir of Esau is everything but the so-called white man. It says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So after Esau's world is done, Jacob is the kingdom of heaven, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Mainly the elect, all right, who are going to be the governing body. But we're going to get to the beginning and how it all started. All right, that's Roman Genesis 25.
Okay. Psalms 94:16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Hey, we're talking about Esau and Esau evil. Wicked, right? Prophecy, how about you outside standing up and telling him his kingdom is going down. And telling Esau, the ones you hate, has been ones you've been, have been pressed down, in slavery, they're gonna rise up above you. Right. Put you in slavery, right? So this is translation of kingdom right now. All right, we're going through the transition. Okay? So Genesis, right?
It started 19.
Genesis 25 and 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of the Danarite, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren.
And she couldn't have any kids. She couldn't bring forth his seed.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations are in thy womb. 2 manner of people going to say it. 2 nations. Not. Yeah, they were brothers. They were brothers that came out the womb, but there's 2 nations. 2 different nations.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Separation, right there. Most High is all about separation. Or we're not all one people. We're not all people under God. That's that bullshit that Christianity puts it up. We're separate. We're separate from them. They're separate from us. All right. You can clearly see the distinction. I'm not even talking about skin color. I'm talking about the spirit. It's the spirit that's in these devils that we don't have. Even though some of our people go off and follow after the ways of these heathens, but we're completely different. You can see the spirit of an Edomite versus the spirit of Israelite.
I looked at that word manner, went to the dictionary, and characteristics or customary mode of acting. A mode or procedure, a way of acting.
Way of acting. A custom. We have a custom. We have laws, statutes, and commandments that we're supposed to live by. They don't have that. The Edomites weren't given that.
Kind.
The heathen nations weren't given that. We were given that. So we have a specific way that we're supposed to conduct ourselves.
Yep.
You know?
Kind. It said a customary way of acting, and it said mode, right? That's like how your software is made, man. We're wired differently.
Yep. We're wired differently.
Social conduct or rules of conduct that's shown in prevalent custom.
It said rules. What are those rules? The laws, statutes, and commandments. That's our heritage. You know, these other nations they don't have a heritage like ours. They don't have the customs that we have. They're not a great nation. We're the great nation, but we haven't been acting like it. We've been following after the customs of them, mainly Esau. All right.
And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
That's self-explanatory. One people shall be stronger than the other people. We're not only physically stronger, these people on this side are not only physically stronger than Esau and the other nations, but we're mentally stronger. You know, look at the shit that we're going through. Ain't no other nation could go through this captivity, the slavery, the bondage that our people been to and still, you know, and still have life. You know?
Still dominant.
God, yeah, still dominate.
We're slaves that's still that dominant.
Yeah.
What slave can dominate society?
Yeah.
And these are not a powerful people. And when you look up that word in the Hebrew, stronger, I believe the Hebrew word is tam. It basically means to be complete. Or somebody that's a virtue, character,
Yeah.
integrity.
It said morally sound.
Morally sound.
Kind.
And also superior.
Kind.
So Jacob would be superior to Esau.
Yeah.
That's racism. Right?
Kind.
The Bible says
Separatism.
that's separatism.
Jeremiah 51:19, the portion of Jacob is not lightning, he is the former of all things. When you look up that word former, it means invention. Jacob comes up invention that Esau used to make. You know?
Esau envies his brother Jacob. And it shows just in his actions, how he treats us, the things that he does to set us back, keep us from exceeding and progressing.
Yeah.
You know, it tells you that in Psalms they only consult to cast us from our
Excellency.
You know, they don't want us to reach a certain level because they know that we're the princes of the power. So Esau, he's always been that way. As long as he's had the advantage, he makes sure that he put pitfalls,
Traps and
snares to make it completely at a disadvantage for these people. Man. And no matter what, these people still seem to thrive. Man.
We find a way through the cracks.
Yeah.
You know, we saw, like you understand, make some traffic and make it damn near impossible for us to, like you said, achieve our excellence. But we still rise above the top. And we're not even, and we rise above the top, man, we wasn't even close to our power. So once we get our power back, how about our side, we can't be stopped. You know? Unstoppable, that's the word.
And Israel is the rod of his inheritance, the Lord of hosts is his name. All right, going back to Genesis 25 and 23, we'll read that again. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elders are serving the younger. Who's serving who right now? We're the younger. They're supposed to be serving us. Basically, Esau was a born servant, but he's ruling right now. The scripture says that I've seen servants on horses. All right, Esau's on servants. And horses represent power. Esau's in power right now. Going back to the scriptures brother read in 2nd Ezra 2, where Esau is the beginning of Esau is the end of the world, showing you who's in power right now. In 2nd Ezra 6, Esau's in power right now. You know?
Verse 24, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first, to the elder, came out red, all over, like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Esau, Joshua, meaning wasting away his seed, because he had no pigment. You know?
Verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 84 years old when she bare him.
Can I add real quick? You notice, like I said up a few verses, that there was a struggle in the room. So that means that they were literally in a room fighting each other. Like literally, like they were literally fighting. So when Esau came out, Jacob, he still had his hand on his hill. You know he had a full grip on the hill of Esau's fight. That was done in the spirit to signify what would happen in the future between the two.
Right.
That Esau would basically be on top. He would be in the ruling seat, but Jacob would come up on his hill. He would be upon the hill of Esau while Esau's in power. And if you see, there is a spiritual transition. Because what's happening? Esau's on his way down. He's falling. He's starting to lose power. He's losing influence. Meanwhile, the Israelites are starting to wake back up, coming back to the Heavenly Father. You know? So spiritually, we have that grip on Esau's hill. This hill is basically the part of the foundation of your foot that keeps you standing.
It's
And
like
through the Spirit, we're actually helping to pull this devil down. Like it tells you in Jeremiah, he said, "Yeah, I'll send you to pluck, to pull down, to pluck."
Yeah.
Jeremiah 1:10.
Like the hill, you grab from the hill, that's basically your body.
Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. That word wicked is the Hebrew word Haman, which is Rachel, which represents the Israelites. Right?
That's it, man. So that was done in the Spirit. That was to signify that when Esau was on his way down, Jacob was going to be on his way up. You know? Yeah. And also to elaborate on what it says, they shall be separated. The Lord basically had the separation done because he already knew in the spirit who was the chosen seed. It wasn't going to be the seed of Esau. It was always before the foundation of the world, it was going to be Jacob. All right, that chosen line, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, real quick, this is 2nd Ezra 3 in Apocryphal, at verse 15, it says, "And made us an everlasting covenant with them, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude."
Esau was passed by. It was written before time that Esau would not be the chosen seed. You know?
I got a same scripture, but in GMT translation. It says, second Ezra 3 and 15, it says, you made an everlasting covenant with them and promised him that you would never abandon his descendants. You gave him Isaac, and to Isaac you gave Jacob and Esau. You chose Jacob, and his descendants became a great nation, but you rejected Esau.
Right.
Just to put it even more quick. Right? He chose Jacob to be that great nation, but he rejected Esau.
Kind.
And that coincides with what Paul said in the book of Hebrews.
Kind.
Yep. Hebrews 12. We're gonna get there.
Back in Genesis 25 and 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was cunning hunter, and a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob saw Kaddish, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same bread pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And
Edom means red, out of wine.
Let me make a disclaimer. Because I said that word stronger was Tom. There's actually that word that he just read, where it says that he was a plain man.
Yeah, plain.
That's a thought.
That goes back to Job 1, where Most High was talking about Job was perfect. Those words are synonymous. Plain, perfect.
So I just wanted to make that correction. I got those two words mixed up. And that word stronger, it does mean to be superior. But that word plain, when he used that in reference to what the character of Jacob, meaning he was perfect in virtue. He had moral character.
Kind.
Right?
verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what shall this birthright do to me?
This is when Esau sold Jacob the birthright. And the birthright was always given to the eldest son. But like the brother was saying, it wasn't meant for Esau to get it anyway. This is all through the spirit. All right? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 33, and Jacob said, swear to me this day, and he swore unto him, and sold his birthright unto Jacob.
So that the birthright, and this birthright wasn't like he got the inheritance from his father. This was the birthright for the kingdom of heaven, for rulership, you know. And Esau, we want to get to the birthright. Go to 27.
I looked up birthright, a right, a privilege, possession to which a person is entitled by birth, heritage, inheritance, legacy, patrimony.
Yeah, just like when a mortal man, when he gets ready to die, he'll always have like something left for the oldest son to inherit.
Like a will.
Like a will. I'm gonna give the throne to the second. I'm senior, he's gonna be the second, so he's gonna inherit what I leave behind. With his house, these servants, they're gonna fall in front of him. Business, everything that I own, the cattle, the land that I have, that I own, is gonna go to under him. He's gonna rule over it. So the same thing. When Isaac was on his deathbed, it was already set up in the spirit that it was going to be passed down to Jacob.
Yep.
Even though initially it would have been Esau because he was the
firstborn.
Right? But we saw what happened when they have that interaction with each other. Esau, he showed you his true nature. You know, he was real weak. It was like he was willing to sell the will of his own father. Like apparently in that moment, because he was hungry, it didn't mean nothing to him in that moment.
Yep.
He cared more about getting some food in his mouth.
Yeah.
And that's the same attitude that a lot of other people have. They got the same Edomite syndrome. They can't wait to eat abundance and have this, basically have this role right now. So what do? They sell their soul.
And it shows you the difference between, it will show you the separation between Jacob and Esau. How Esau was a carnal man where he had to have it now. He saw what was in front of him and he had to have it. Where the spirit of Jacob is patience and faith. You know, Esau didn't have faith in the Most High. You know, to praise the Most High that he didn't die from starvation. Esau had to have a quick fix. Esau had to have the see what was in front of him, what was carnal. All right, there's no spiritual thing. There's nothing spiritual about Esau. You know.
Hey, Conan, we always, we make it a joke, but we say like, hey, that's a time where the earth was at its, at its fullness. They had fruits and all these different things that you could have ate or could have picked up, but it wasn't meant that way,
Yeah, that's a characteristic of a man with integrity, being patient.
Yeah.
Being patient. Where he's going to help you follow the blessing.
Kind.
So, Genesis 27.
Yeah, it showed that he was careless. Just like his older incarnation, he was Cain. When it came down to sacrifice or offering to the Most High, he had that same attitude. He was just careless, man. He didn't give a shit. So of course, that type of soul do not deserve something as great as the birthright.
Just like right here, Psalm 24.
Give not which is holy and to the dogs.
They
They just gonna treat it careless. They gonna do what they want with it. Look what he's doing with the earth now. I couldn't imagine the Lord giving him the blessing for what he's done to the planet. Give him 500 years to rule, and look what you get. Look what you come up with. Sea animals beaching themselves.
Yep.
Bees dying off.
animals going extinct.
Animals going extinct.
Trying to outdo the Most High.
All right.
We're gonna get to the blessing where Jacob was supplanted Esau for the blessing, but it was all in the spirit for him to do so. And read that also. Then we're gonna go to Esau's blessing.
Genesis 27 and 25, and he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat.
Isaac was on his deathbed, so it was time for him to bless his sons.
And he brought him wine, and he drank, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field, which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine.
That's rulership. That's having substance. That's ultimate rulership, where the everything, the heavens, the earth, the water, everything is going to be given to us in abundance in its perfect order, in its perfect, in its perfection.
Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee.
That's rulership right there. That's like the Apostle Paul said, that's blessings. That was having slaves, having servants. Jacob is supposed to be at the top with everyone under him, serving him. All right.
Yeah, I believe that Hebrew word for bow down. And nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and thy mother's son bow down to thee.
And notice how Esau being so envious of that blessing, that it was always several times in history, whenever he got in a position of power, he always wanted Israelites in particular to bow down to him. Whether it was Haman, when he tried to get Mordecai to bow down to him, he wouldn't do it. You also had they wanted him to be Antiochus Epiphanes, he also was trying to get Jacob into worship.
Yeah.
Then you had Herod.
Yeah.
You know? So this devil, he always envied that part of the blessing. He wants everybody to bow to him, to worship. And that's what he's doing right now. We're trying to get you to bow to his image. You know? He's trying to convince you that if there is a God, he's the most high. So you need to bow down to his standard and way of living.
His science.
And his science and his technology. That's God to you. So he wants you to serve him in his new world order. Trying to basically emulate the birthright of Jacob. That's why the Lord's going to destroy it. Back on you.
Curse be everyone that curses thee, and bless he that blesses thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also made a savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may be blessed. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son.
So like when you read a few verses in, it is saying that thy mother's son shall that's talking about Esau. That's talking about Esau. Right? Because they only had Jacob and Esau, they had two sons. Who's the other child of the mother? Esau. So that means that what? There's going to be a time when your brother Esau and his descendants, they're actually going to bow and worship you and serve you. And to a certain extent, that did happen at the time of King David. He went over there and he defeated them, he went into Egypt, slew all the males, saved the women and the children for himself, put garrisons down over there. So that happened briefly. But then, of course, you know, like a split happened outside. And we got the spirits, we were raised up the Assyrians and then the Babylonians. That was when Esau became the vengeance upon Jacob. And they started to have dukes and rulers and kings and so on and so forth. Alright? So that's going into how at one point in time that they will be serving Jacob. It's going to go back to that when Yahushua comes back. They're really supposed to be serving us as slaves. Okay? That was promised to us going back to the beginning. Alright, go ahead.
Verse 32, Genesis 27 and 32. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yeah, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, it is not he rightly named Jacob, for he has supplanted me these two times. And he took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing.
And he lied because in the 25th verse he said Esau despised his birthright. All right, so that's the true nature of Esau. And what Scripture says, before they come to the womb,
They go about speaking lies.
That's Esau. That's the nature of stuff. It's deception, it's lies, it's witchcraft, it's sorcery. All right, that's part of the reason why he's on top right now. Because all the witchcraft and bullshit that they put out there, but everyone's sobering up to Esau's bullshit. And he's being revealed of who he truly is. The wicked that the Bible speaks of, the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Yeah, in this society, your birthright don't really mean a regular person. You know? But the elites, birthrights, is, that's everything. You know, being royal, having the birthright, being that son that obtains the birthright, that's everything. That's a real serious business.
That's why they keep that bloodline through.
Yep.
And not gonna let nobody, get into that bloodline. They didn't even have like certain levels of the bloodline.
Yeah.
Not even all the different bloodlines that the super rich elite, they're not even on the same levels. There's like a hierarchy, there's a ranking system of those royal bloodlines. And that's Rothschilds being the very top of all those different other bloodlines. They keep that inheritance among themselves.
They'll even make their daughters marry their uncle or something like that.
Yeah.
Keep the money in the family. For instance, they'll do that, and they know about reincarnation, so they know when they come back, they'll come into money. They won't be a regular Edomite out here walking around in Vegas with a beard. They'll be at the top. You know what I mean?
That's why there's a law. I believe it might be in, I think it's in Deuteronomy, but basically the law of passing down an inheritance. If you have a daughter and she doesn't have a husband or her husband dies, the inheritance is supposed to be given over to another Israelite that's of her tribe, so that the inheritance stays within the family. She wasn't allowed to go and marry to another a man of another nation, because then that nation would inherit
That blessing.
that inheritance.
You can read that for context.
So there's a law on that. So for inheritance sake, you got to keep it within your family line. So the elites, they know all about that. Jake don't understand that.
Yeah.
The best Jake will do is they'll leave a house, to they children or their grandchildren.
Yeah.
And then they'll fuck up the house,
That's
bring down the property value of the house.
and leave it with the debt.
Yeah.
That's really all that Jake just really left.
Yeah, because we're under the curse.
Yeah.
Curse shall
You in the city?
We coming in.
so you go in and curse shall you be leaving out. Or ask DMX. The nigga had 15 kids, we couldn't leave shit for them.
They sold millions of records.
Huh.
Went through millions of dollars. Don't got nothing.
All right, well, back in Genesis 27 and 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Isaac didn't even have to give Esau a blessing, but he still blessed him. And that's how the Most High is righteous. The Most High didn't have to, through Isaac, he didn't have to give Esau shit.
Yeah.
He said, okay, hey, you missed out. This is my chosen. But no, he said, okay, you're gonna have your dominion. You're gonna have here's your blessing. I won't be like that. So Esau, you Edomites, you ain't got shit to complain about. You had your rulership.
Yeah, well, Romans 9, Malachi 1,
Yep.
Most High hates Esau. So, Esau, you can't be complaining, man. You got no time for it. You got no time for it. Most High gave you no time to roll on the planet Earth. So it won't be no right.
That's right.
Real quick, Romans chapter 9,
Yep.
verse 11.
Come.
It says, For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand.
Yep.
Not of works, but of him that calleth.
According to election, the Most High elected Israel, Jacob. The 12 tribes. And like the scripture read, he passed by Esau for the second Ezra 2, 3. Yeah. You got it.
It says, It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. I showed you because the Lord hated this devil that he chose to reject him.
Yeah.
It says, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? The Most High forbid.
You gonna say the Most High is unrighteous for what he did? The Most High can do whatever the hell he wants to do, and everything he's doing is in righteousness. He gave Esau his rulership.
Yep.
And you know, look what he did with it. That's how righteous the Most High is. He gave you rulership, you fucked up the whole world. Fucked up the people, polluted everything that's pure and organic. Nothing under Esau's rulership is unblemished.
Yeah.
You know?
That's Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked,
Yeah.
yet will he not learn righteousness.
Perfect free, bro.
Perfect. Right in the season. The Lord showed favor to this devil.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was multiple times in history where he actually sat on the power seat, where you literally controlled an empire. Matter of fact, you had a double dominion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This nigga ruled twice. Ruled the Greece and Rome.
Yeah. And the rebirth.
They both had
Shit.
a few hundred years to rule.
Kind.
You know?
Yeah.
And all you did was show the world that you was the devil the whole time. When you came in, your first initial when you first came into power as the Greeks, it tells you that in the Maccabees that wickedness
Multiplied. Kind.
in the earth.
Yeah.
That's not to say that the nations before wasn't wicked, because they were all pagans. But when you came into power, it was just different. You know?
At least in the other captivities, the Persians, they let us, build our temple,
Exactly.
worship the Most High. What did Esau want us to do?
There was some diplomacy,
Yeah, come.
with the other nations. But when Esau came to power, the nigga showed no mercy.
Don't circumcise your children. They burn the books.
Don't destroy your temple.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure we bring some holes, some harlots in your temple.
We're going to make sure we bring the thing that the Most High test the most pork in the temple, this holies of holies. They're going to bring something abominable as swine, pork, in the temple. You know?
The last 78 years, Esau's rulership, he's been destroying the whole planet Earth. Wildlife, the agriculture of the earth, the greenery, you know? That's most of it right there. That's all.
But Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 16, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous shall see their fall.
That's right. Wicked and multiplied. And wickedness has been multiplied ever since the devil's been unleashed. Hey, bro, read verse 2.
Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, people rejoice. But when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn.
Boom. Ain't nobody rejoicing right now with Esau. All the nations are in mourning, especially these people. Whether they want to believe it or not, they're in mourning. The rich, the so-called rich of our people, they're depressed. They're fucked up. Because what they did to get that money, or what they got to do to keep their position.
Yep.
Niggas like these athletes, they just can't retire, and these entertainers that's Jakes, they can't just hang it up and I'm done. They gotta work until they fucking dead.
Yep.
Yo, they right now, they're given a choice right now.
Yeah.
Either get that form of kids and keep your career or leave.
Hey, it's like the parable that Yahweh Shai talked about the rich man. Hey, he asked him, what can he do? And Yahweh Shai said, you got to forsake everything.
Yeah.
You got to give away all your riches, to enter. Yep, and to follow him.
Yeah, man. Everybody, the whole earth is in mourning.
Yep.
That's why you're seeing all these massive protests and riots everywhere. Over there in Greece, the shit is on fire right now. They tearing all them towns over there in Italy, Greece, all the European countries, they tearing shit up over there. Paris, France, all throughout France, Australia,
Yep.
UK, Wales. Only here in Babylon is where everybody's still complacent and chilling. Cause y'all too deep in a fucking hole to really see what the hell is really going on.
Okay.
And the other nations, they always say that Americans are stupid. they come out and say it.
And what you said yesterday in the chat about the comparison between foods.
It kind.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, Doritos, for example, that's sold over here in the U.S. has way more
Chemical.
ingredients and chemicals than the Doritos that's served overseas.
Yeah.
You know? So that plays a big part in why Americans are totally wrong. They're stuck in your own bubble, GMOs. You know? And that's the difference. You know?
Plus they under heavy sorcery.
Yep.
Too much entertainment, too much mainstream news, folly, Hollywood.
Yeah.
So the mentality over here is just on a different level of stupidity, folly,
Okay.
madness. That's why, every only thing people can talk about over here besides the jab is just sports and entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, the fucking finals,
Olympics.
the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? And these celebrities.
Yep.
They profit off of the people's addiction.
Yeah.
Come.
All right, back to Genesis 27:39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above.
That was Esau's blessing. They would have substance and have a time of rulership. They had the whole earth. Esau is even trying to go to space. That's how proud this devil is. But they had the whole earth to rule, for a time. All right, Esau had their time, and going back to 2nd Ezra 6, their time is coming to an end, the end of an era. So they had their rulership. They had substance. They had, they had an opportunity to rule righteously. To not pollute the earth, to not pollute the sea, the soil, the air. What did they do? They did it anyway.
Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother.
And what the process of elimination? Who lives by the stamp sword? Who stands by their military? Who stands by their wicked, corrupt judicial system? That's part of their sword too. Esau. Our people on the side, we don't make any laws. We don't got any goddamn militaries or no drones or own any fighter jets or nukes. That's Esau.
And the only thing that Jake got is what Esau got.
Yeah.
And he puts it in the hand of Jake.
Yep.
But they drop it in the hand of Jake so that they can, slaughter each other, kill each other off. That's the only reason why I allow these niggas in the hood to get those level caliber weapons that they got.
You go back to the word manufacturing. Who manufactures this shit? Esau. That's his blessing.
Esau never allowed Jake to get a fucking drone or the type of shit that he dealing with. They ain't gonna give Jake that advantage. But that ain't Jacob's blessing anyway. That's Esau's
What's
blessing.
fucked up is a lot of times it be Jakes that come up with that technology. That, okay, do this. So Esau how to work it, Esau steals it, and they could never get no credit. We'll never get no credit in this society. You know what I'm saying? But it all goes back to Jacob and Esau. You got it. Finish that. Hit 41 and give Malachi 1 certain time.
Genesis 27:40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of thy blessing, because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Yep.
He said Esau hated his brother because of the blessing. But these devils don't love you. They don't got love for you niggas. All right? They hate you. They said, I will slay the days my father are at hand. I will slay my brother. This devil's been trying to slay you ever since. And it ain't direct anymore.
Yeah.
Esau's doing it through so many different avenues, so many of his wicked devices, through the food, through shit, like I said, the air.
Technology.
What is this shit called?
Chemtrails.
Chemtrails, all of that shit. You know? They're figuring out new ways to slay you niggas. So it's easy to go shoot them niggas down the street. Let's put this in their food. Let's put these guns and this alcohol and all this wicked shit in their communities. Hey, yeah.
Let's poison them with Christianity and bring out that one scripture. Love thy enemies.
Yeah.
That's part of this deceit. Right? That's part of this sport as well, man. Deceit, lies. Have you thinking one way and he does another thing. Stab you in the back, man.
You got that Malachi 1 start at the top. Read all the way through.
Malachi chapter 1, here, top. The burden of the word of the Lord, Israel, by Malachi, I have loved you, said the Lord. Yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us?
And that's the sentiment of Jake. That's how Jake feels like, you know, God don't love us. You know, look at us. We stuck in the ghettos, and you know, where is that how has loved us? That's how Jake feels right now. You know. Go ahead, you got it.
It's not Esau, Jacob's brother, says the Lord. Yet I love Jacob, and I hate Esau, and lay his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build in desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
In Babylon, America is being thrown down right before your eyes, whether you see it, whether you can see it, or whether you have eyes to see. All right, this place is spiritually coming down. You know, this place is already morally just fucked up. But the Babylon, the spirit of these people, the camaraderie of America is low as ever, and the people are completely divided. You know, when Trump got it, all the people were talking about fleeing this place.
Yeah.
You know, that's how low that America has come. You got it. That last part.
But I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
The border of wickedness. All right, the wicked that the Bible speaks of. All right, that's Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom, and the wicked are synonymous. They're like, they go hand in hand. All right, it's not a righteous thing. It's nothing you can think. It's nothing you can ever say that Esau has done righteous. What good has Esau done for not just these people, but any good for anybody in their whole existence? Someone get Amos 1 and 11 for me.
Yeah, no, if I may add, when it says, though he shall return and build desolate places, you know, Esau, anytime you give him any type of leeway, he will come to a city, or he will come. If there's any land that's not
Claim.
occupied,
Yeah, claimed.
not claimed or ruled,
Right.
Esau's going to automatically be entitled to it. He's going to go over there and he's going to build it. He's going to put his skyscraper. He's going to put his 5G towers. He's going to put his flag, his McDonald's. You know?
Yeah.
These are opportunities.
Yeah.
It like
And that's also pride, because like even Yahweh Shai said, or was it no, it was James that said it. When you go to, you say you're gonna go into a city and build and do this and do that, you're supposed to say Lord willing. Much boasting is evil.
yeah.
But you don't know what tomorrow. You don't know about tomorrow. But Esau, he's a man of pride. So he always making plans for, you know, hey, in 2035 we're gonna make sure that there is no EMR released vehicles.
Yeah.
We're gonna have nothing but electric vehicles. by 2035 we're gonna have this done, we're gonna have that done. And that's part of their what they call Great Reset, which Biden calls it building back better.
Yeah.
So this is their version of, basically building. But the Lord said he's gonna throw it down.
Yep.
And right now, like the brother said, spiritually it's being thrown down. But what's ultimately gonna throw all this down? The missiles.
I got a quick trick. Psalms 10 and 4. The wicked from his pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts.
That's funny. The Most High is not in Esau's thoughts whatsoever. He thinks that, it's really, what's that, Ecclesiastes 8, where, sentence against an evil work.
Yeah, because sentence against an evil work.
They think that they're not going to get judged for the wickedness that they have done. All right, they're not thinking about, damn, if I do this, is there going to be consequences? They just do shit, like a damn kid. A kid that doesn't know no better, they just do things, just react. That's how Esau is. Got a damn kid moving right now.
What verse was that now?
Psalms 10.
10. Psalms 10.
Yeah. Amos 1 and 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity.
Hey, the Lord is not going to forget about Esau's punishment. Esau's going to get judged, whether they believe it or not. That's why they're going to outer space. That's why they're seeking they're going to these underground bunkers. That's why they're trying to, do any and everything to escape that judgment. But the Most High is going to punish them for pursuing their brother Jacob with the sword. And Jacob was 2 Israelites. All right. It ain't a tribe on here that Esau has not fucked up.
Okay.
All these tribes got a specific story of how Esau jacked them up. Where like they're tarnished, like they're scarred. All the tribes.
He's jacked up everybody on that song and him on this.
Okay.
The whole entire planet he didn't
Yep.
Everybody got a Esau story.
whether he didn't stole from them, exploited them,
Bombs.
Drop bombs on it.
made a treaty with them and then broke it by attacking them. That's why it says that in Isaiah the 33rd chapter, he that he dealt treacherously with thee. He dealt treacherously with everybody. That's why the devil is not to be trusted. Especially a devil that's his greed, his desire is very insatiable. Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, he can never have enough.
Okay.
He's as deaf and can never be satisfied.
Okay.
So that's where all the entitlement comes from. When you feel like he can go to any place in the world and wage war against it so he can take control of their resources.
Okay.
Control the trade markets.
Yeah.
Which is essentially controlling the money.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what they're doing through the UN right now. This is a complete takeover over everything. The housing market, the oil industry, all manner of communication, the monetary system, all the banks is already in their hands. It's been controlled by them. The medical, big pharma, everything is under their control.
That's the image. That's the new world order.
Yeah.
Everything that this brother just named is the part of them controlling all facets of that. The money, the commerce, the medical.
Yep.
The religion eventually.
And ultimately, wants to take over the thoughts.
Yeah.
The soul.
Yeah. Technologically.
Yep. That's why that former kids that he's mandating across the board right now, that might be leading up to that.
Yeah.
This devil can never be satisfied. That's why he wants to kill off the population. That's why he has a thing called the population civilization and population control. He feels that he would have a better stronghold on the earth if there were lesser people. They feel like there's going to be a problem if the world reaches 20 billion versus, attacking the problem before it gets to that point. So let's establish something where we can actually reduce the population. So we ain't got to worry about it ever getting that far. Let's reduce it down to 500 million.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a process, so let's try to have this done by 2030. So they set objectives and accomplishments.
Right.
Agendas. And that goes back to the secret counsels of the wicked, Psalm 64 chapter.
That's right, bro.
Go ahead.
All right, back in Amos 1 and 11, we read it again. Thus saith the Lord, the 3 transgressions of Edom and before, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did pass off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
Esau always going to have that wrath for Jacob. All right? They probably had that wrath, that envy for us in the kingdom. They're going to have it. Because they're going to see us in our excellency. All right? They're going to see us on top. And they're going to know, and the thought that they can't bring us down is just going to drive them crazy. That they can't do shit, against us. Like this truth. Esau can't do nothing against the truth. This truth is not of men, it's of Yahweh Shah. And that's what Esau hates. Esau hates that Israelites are coming back to your heritage. All right? That's why the scripture says in Revelation 12:12, he's coming down with that great wrath. And he has but a short time. With all this wickedness that Esau's done and their rulership, and they see it coming to an end, they're like, man, fuck it, man. We're going to go down, we're going to take some of these niggas and these sticks down with us. And that's what they're doing through that big army and other device that Esau is putting out there.
Yeah, that's how he can become an accuser of his brother. He can accuse us to the Father day and night, to get the Most High to have a change of heart, to basically reject Jacob and give it back to him. That ain't gonna happen. The Lord ain't changing. Don't act like the Lord don't see everything that you do. Woe to you that put the bottle to your neighbor and make him
to drink it.
To drink it. Yeah. And he may be drunken, but you may look upon
The nakedness, kind.
All these different, the reason why Jacob's so messed up in it is because of all the indoctrination you put in their head.
Kind.
He gave our women feminism and weaponized them against the men, and that's fucked up the family structure. So you wonder why there's infidelity and dysfunctionality amongst our nation. Why the man and the woman can't get along with each other, why they're enemies with one another. You did that to me.
Part of the agenda.
That was part of your agenda. Yeah.
That whole philosophy has to be populated.
Yeah. You're trying to really get rid of us. The fact that they got this demon, that fucking Lil Nas X, the fact that he's able to continue to do what he's doing, and it's like they, no matter, even if there's an uproar, they still going to continue to endorse it. They're going to continue to basically shove them down people's throats.
If there's an uproar, they're going to defend it. They're going to defend it.
Yeah.
You got organizations, the Alphabet group, that's going to come to his defense. Set up by Esau. Wickedness. That Alphabet shit was set up as another depopulation device.
See, that's the only time when Jake is pushing that level of wickedness, that's the only time this devil will stand up with you.
Yeah.
That's the only time he'll back you and stand with you. Yeah. When you're able to do wickedness and transgress against the Most High. Because they know and understand that when you come back to your right mind and seek the Heavenly Father, we always bring it out in what's that, Judah, 5th chapter. But eventually the nations, they know that as long as the Lord finds those hearts with his people, the Lord's going to actually stand up and defend us and put us in power. But as long as we transgress against them, they can actually have their way with us.
Yeah.
And then that's why they want to sign petition for paper 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kevin Samuels, he ain't a man of the Lord.
Yeah.
But a lot of what he say there's truth to it.
Yeah, it's backed by scripts.
You know? But our people always been that way.
He pushes masculinity. And Esau is completely against us as so-called, so-called black Latino Native Americans being masculine, being rulers of our house. You know, ruling over a woman, how the Most High set it up. He's kept Samuel, like you said, it's some truth. He's not a man of the Lord, but Esau say that's toxic masculinity. Esau wants Jacob to be off, and mainly our people. All these heathens, they can do whatever they want. They can, Israelites, they want us to be all feminine and bitch made and shit, man.
Real quick, Isaiah 5:20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, and put darkness for light and light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
Yep.
And that's this world is ass backwards. That's because of this devil and his influence. He sets the standard.
Yep.
Everybody look to him for that standard.
And our people are so simple, they follow.
Yeah.
They act like, man, Esau can't do no wrong. It's a prime example with this jab. You know, they believe in this shit because it's coming from the devil.
Yeah.
But the people that look like you, that come from you, are telling you that it's wrong according to the scriptures, all right, and showing you what's in this poison, and you look at us crazy. You say that we're a problem.
Even what Esau did is, just a nail in the coffin for you Jakes. He put a so-called N-dub as one of the heads of the jab departments, man. So yeah. So now Jake be like, oh well, it was a black woman that created it.
I think her name was Kinsman.
Yeah.
Or Ben or something like that.
Yeah,
She was no different than Denise Rivers, man. Denise Rivers was the woman that she gave Jake over during the Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah.
Same thing, man. The serpent always need to tackle on Eve. He wanted some submission.
Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Yeah.
They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the death adder that stoppeth their ears.
Hey, what's crazy is with Jake, they're infested with his venom. Because here it is, our people went hard for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
A fucking known pedophile, right? Who's endorsed a system that kept our people in the system and destroyed a whole generation of people in a family, right? They went hard for him. Our people wasn't protesting against this guy because they were so busy looking at fucking Nero, Donald Trump. But now our people are willing to stand up and make an uproar and sign a petition to fucking get Kevin Samuels off of YouTube. So our people, when they try to make a stance on something, and when they go out there and protest and get their voices heard, it's always over some dumb shit.
Yep.
Or it's over some shit that can at least help structure their own community.
It's some shit that's set up by Esau, like Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything that Jake is about, our people about, is just, if it's not about this truth and coming back to the knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai, it's folly, it's foolishness. Yeah. It's for naught, it's in vain. You niggas is out there marching and bigging up Joe Biden. This motherfucker's about to kill you, about to send you niggas to war, about to draft a bunch of you women into the military. You love Joe Biden so much, he's about to enforce this jab to be made mandatory.
That's right.
You know, to make your job, your employers, make it mandatory for you to get it. Before you even travel, you gotta have this jab. So, all your love for Joe Biden, he's going to make a real change. He's going to change your ass for the worse. Right. Because a lot of you niggas is going to follow him. A lot of you niggas is going to give in to the demands of the wicked.
Isaiah 30:12. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise his word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant.
Yep.
God. Hey, it's gonna come at an instant. Wherever you least expect it, right when you think everything is good, you say you got your jab, economy's going back up, you got a new job, and everything is good. That's when the how about you now size will come down with that wrath. All right, where everything that you love is going to be fucking crumbled. All right, your grandma that got the jab, she's going to die. Probably your kids are going to die, and then the Lord is saving your ass for the missiles. That's what happened to a lot of you Israelites out there, man. That trust in Babylon, that trust in America, that trust in Esau, trust in the damn devil, trust in your enemy, trust in someone that fucking hates you, that hates your guts. Let me get this real quick. Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, to stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. That's our people, that's Israelites. They're not seeking the Lord. They're seeking for approval from this damn devil. Oh look, I got mine. You know, that's simple. You know? They believe everything that this devil says. This devil, in the same manuscript they put out there, they'll show you the side effects, and you niggas will still take it. We were watching the video last night where there was people lined up, and the nigga was over there having a damn seizure, and people still, you know, waiting their turn to get the shit. Yeah. Like, you don't see this motherfucker about to die on the floor in front of you, but you still gonna get it. That's how simple our people are.
The scriptures say that our people are savage.
Yeah.
Savage children, right? We was watching that video where they did this dog.
Yeah, kind.
Showing that even these dogs are smarter than these humans out here. And he would take like a little
The little stuffed animal.
A little stuffed animal and put a dog treat in the mouth of it. And when he put the treat into the little puppet, he would basically make it fall over.
Yeah, like it
died.
died.
And the dog would see it, and the dog would have the biscuit in his mouth, and he would basically spit it out.
Yep.
The moment he see the little puppet fall over, that should drop right off their mouth.
Yep.
Basically, like, if that's gonna make him do that, I'm not about to eat this shit.
Yeah.
And then you see these people, and they're split screen, and you see on the other side, it's just lines of people just waiting to get that damn injection, and people falling out, people having seizures.
Yep.
But I'm still standing that line. I'm still good. I want to be able to, go to the club and get this function of it.
Hit this chick.
Yeah.
You know, if juvenile put out the shit,
Backs that ass up.
Backs that ass up. You can't hit this unless you got the jab. You know,
It's this world, man. Hey, like I said in Isaiah 60, darkness covers the people.
Yeah.
Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest judgment.
Yep.
some people don't even ask me questions. What's in it?
Right.
You know, what are the side effects? They the scripture said how people are led as a flock to the slaughter. You know?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished.
That prudent man is the prophets, the men of the Lord. We can see your bullshit from a mile away, Esau. You know? Hey, if your eyes are open, the most eyes open your eyes, you can see it too. Like, oh, that's
Can you go to Proverbs 14?
That's the spirit, bro.
14 and
15.
15 and 16.
Kind. That's just that's the spirit.
Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going.
Yep. Hey, the simple, they're watching they're just all day consuming mainstream news all day.
Yep.
They got it on Fox News, they got it on CNN, they got it on CBS.
MSNBC.
Yeah, MSNBC, CNBC, ABC,
God.
and they're just buying and absorbing all that filth, all that deception, all that witchcraft.
Yep.
Operation Mockingbird. You didn't know that that's an operation MK Ultra, a program by the CIA that they actually gave to these mainstream news outlets.
It's like repetition.
Yeah.
You don't even have to watch it. You can be washing dishes, listening to it. But every time you turn on the news, it's the same shit, same shit.
Same code words.
It's mind programming.
Yep.
Programming your mind, man. To influence behavioral change. Influence your behavior and your way of thinking, man.
Kind. It's the same thing with the music industry. You hear a certain song, the song could have been made 20, 25, 30 years ago, and for some reason, every time that song is played, Jake energy change or they spirits change. That's because it's the same witchcraft, man.
Like right now, what this devil's doing is he's weaponizing people by entering into their minds and manipulating them to believe that the people that's not getting that shot are the problem.
Kind.
Or basically the pandemic in itself. So they're programming the minds of people just to cause that division so that people will start coming against each other rather than looking at the people who are directly involved and orchestrate this whole shit. That's what this is all about.
Yep.
So they're using that mind control in the mainstream news.
The same thing with politicians, Democrats and Republicans. They have them, the elites have them come together and argue and go back and forth while they at the top doing what the fuck they got. You know, same thing. You have all you dumbass people fighting amongst each other, all right, pointing the finger when when the elites at the top are doing something else. You know, figuring out their next moves. You know?
Yeah, their whole job is to cause massive distractions. You have to distract the public from actually, watching what that government is doing. Like that's why, they'll have celebrities come out and do something stupid to cause a scandal so that people will start to divert their attention rather than focusing on what their government is doing.
Right.
Like when these celebrities die, or like you said, scam like R. Kelly, that was
Bill
big.
Cosby getting out.
That was big in the news, and everyone's tuned in on that while they doing something else. You know, while they're passing an executive order, they're passing a law. All right, Biden signing this into law or this executive order, taking more of your so-called rights away. Because if you don't got no rights as it is, but you're gonna see in the future that you don't got no rights. You know what that happened to that lady was in Utah when the UN order, I think it's UN.
Oh yeah.
This is UN property. What? This is Utah. Nah, while you was up there watching some fucking Super Bowls and shit, they signed that shit. They the UN just came over here and signed the executive orders, taking away your so-called rights.
Kind.
And this devil does through
Policies.
through policy to cause
Craft to
profit
profit.
in his hand.
Kind.
You shall destroy me.
Yep.
Yep.
He uses that judicial system, but what do you call it? Writing the laws.
Into legislation.
Legislation to help bring forth their agenda. They're just not going to just take your rights away. They're going to gradually take it away and then have false flags to justify it.
Yep.
Yeah, you read that in Isaiah 10 where it says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decree.
Kind. And prescribe grievous. Prescribe.
It's Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right grievousness which they prescribe. We know that's the prefix pre is before.
Kind.
So that means that they already have those unrighteous laws and legislations. They're already written down. They just have to be enforced.
Kind.
So they set certain false flags, certain psychological operations, and then they use that as a means to basically justify that pre-written decree.
Patriot Act was probably written in probably 1990.
Well, it was way before 9/11 happened.
Framing mission about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, man.
might add real quick. If you look into that new, alternative, Delta, if you look into different stages of sleep, Delta is the lowest and the slowest wave when it comes to sleep stages. So it means it's the deepest form of deepest stage of sleep. That's heavy.
Wow.
To turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless.
That's plain, man. That's what Esau does. You know, stripping you of your freedoms.
Yep.
Now he's gonna basically draw the line and say, you want a little bit of liberty, because here it is. They already took the liberty from you, and now they're offering it back to you in increments as long as you submit to it.
But in this next,
If you want to get your nightlife back, you want to be able to start going back to these concerts, and you want to do all the things that you used to do before all this happened, well, this is what we need you to do. You know?
Esau knows that.
We're everywhere. Even though we put this yoke on you, this noose on you, and tightened it, if you do what we want you to do and submit, we'll loosen it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what Esau is doing. It's about complete control.
Yep.
This whole shit, them telling you to put your mask back on, it has nothing to do with a public health. It's about submission and control.
If you think about it, Esau's letting you get back to a level of comfort right before they take the shit away from you. And then you're going to be faced. Mitch McConnell came out and said that. If you don't get our numbers up, it's going to be another lockdown. Another lockdown is imminent.
Yeah.
All right? You see all these other countries locking shit down or preparing to lock shit down. So what makes America even any different? It's just your mind, your people's minds are not even thinking of a lockdown. You're thinking of, fall and winter and Christmas and all these holidays and shit. Vacations. You know? He's talking about to lock this shit. Yeah, he's talking about to lock this shit down. And you know how you people were on the first lockdown. You know how America was. America was hanging on to them. All right? And Esau's gonna, Esau came, what was it? I want to say it was locked down March, April. When they really locked it down. When did the stimulus come? May? Something like that? Esau's not coming. Esau's not coming that fast as the next stimulus. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make you niggas. He make you niggas sweat out a little bit. You know?
Tough.
Make it tough.
Make it rough.
Hey, if you want the next stimulus, what's the first one? Like $1,400? So they may give it $5,000 out, but it's something to come with that. And we already know what's gonna come with that $5,000 stimulus. The JAB. $5,000 is a lot of money for Jay, whether they working or not. You know? Plus you get money for kids too. So you say you get $5,000 on each kid, you got 5 kids. That's 35 racks. Your whole family gotta get the JAB. What do you think Jay gonna do? Shit, they gonna be lined up with that motherfucker early in the morning all the way till night.
First lockdown, you see what happened to the stock.
Yeah.
You Americans got, most of us are 401k. Wait till this next lockdown happens. And this 401k is going to go quick. All the people investing all the treasuries and shit like that, man. It's done, man.
I knew people that had like over 100 racks in their 401k. Man, they shit went down like 70%. It was sick. But hey, that's what you get when you believe in Esau. When you trust in the system. You people ain't fucking retiring. You ain't got no retirement. You know?
Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 11, verse 25, it says, "In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
Yeah.
And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity."
Yep.
That's just gonna go up. That whole, spirit of thinking that you're finna get comfortable, things are gonna go back to normal. That's just gonna go right out the window. right when they shut everything right back down. We know last year, when they shut everything down, depression
Went up.
the depression was heavy. A lot of suicides was happening. Even little children was taking their own lives because they couldn't be back in school. You know, a lot of jobs, a lot of people got laid off, a lot of people were furloughed, a lot of small businesses tanked.
Yep.
Never recovered, never came back. The only thing that they plan to have left standing is these major corporations. But they'll be the only ones that benefit and capitalize.
Okay.
That was how they transferred that wealth. They pulled the biggest heist in the history of the planet.
And those corporations, who owns all those corporations? The Rothschilds, the Gettys, the elites of the society. They own all these corporations. Eminem. So,
Yeah, you're a Muslim, you might feel your life to hang in balance. It might come against you. But hey, the Lord, Yahweh is the only power that can take down this so-called white.
Yep.
The only power that can do it. Esau sees the angels out there in space and in the sky and stuff like that, man. Esau's scared.
that's why you see Esau moving so fast to get shit done. You got motherfucking Jeff Bezos, he ain't even an astronaut going to space. Trying to go to space. So what that tell you? What's his name? Branson?
Richard Branson.
Yeah. They see what time it is.
They're trying to escape.
Yeah. Because next time when they go, they trying to go stay up there. But you know the angels, outside, chariots, man, they got it all figured out.
Their only thought is that maybe if they can go out and find a space, a place that they can go out of space or somewhere in the ground where they can hide from the indignation and the wrath, and then basically everybody would kill each other off in World War III. People would die off of massive starvation and plagues and pestilences, and then once enough number of people die, then they can come from out of the rock that they've been hiding under and basically inherit the earth.
Right.
You know, they know that the missiles, they know that the missiles gonna hit this place in other parts of the world, and they have those bunkers and underground cities and mountains. Space stations, cities and mountains. They're prepared to live. I don't know how long. We don't know how long the radiation is gonna last, but they're prepared to stay in there until the radiation and all the smoke clears. So these devils know. They know what time it is. It's just they're not gonna make it to that. They're not gonna make it to that point. You know, where they think they're gonna these devils think they're gonna ride off into the sunset and not pay for their transgressions.
Proverbs 19 and 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand.
Yeah, the counsel of the Lord is that these prophecies in this book, written in this book 2,000, 3,000 years ago, is going to come to pass. All right, and the prophecies of the kingdom in heaven, that's going to come to pass. The counsel of the Lord is this prophecy, the spirit of prophecy, the spirit of Yahushua, the spirit of
Testimony.
Yahushua.
Yeah.
Yahushua, the spirit of prophecies.
This is part of the counsel of the Lord right here. Amos 9 and 2. Though they dig into hell, yet shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down.
You know, escaping your judgment. We had to deal with our judgment, and 2/3 of our people are still going to get judged also. So, what makes you different, Esau? You know, you got to deal with yours just like we had to deal with ours. We're in this captivity under you, all right, serving you, all right. Our people are bugged out or out of their damn mind, all right. The same thing is going to happen to you. The same curses that are on our people that have overtaken our people are going to overtake you. You have to deal with it for a matter of 1,000 years.
It's Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, woe to him that coveteth, like evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
That goes with Amos too. 2 and 3. He said his nest on high. And no one can escape from Yahweh Shai. Eyes of the Lord are in every place.
Let me read it also the Eastern Standard Version. It says, "Woe to him who gets evil gain for his house, who set his nest on high, to be safe from the reach of harm." The devil, he wanted to be comfortable. He wanted to be left unscathed and untouched.
Yeah, kind.
Getting away with all the evil that he's done. Through his
Make
evil
him one,
corporations,
one,
man,
three.
robbing the people. By still basically, because he got his riches and his wealth unjustly.
Yep.
He got it by deceit. All those riches they kept it backed by fraud. That's why we go well with James 5th chapter.
Yep.
How you rich. Riches and your silver is paid. Yeah. So now you want to plan your escape route by going into the underground bunkers or seeing how far you can go into the heavens to escape your judgment. Hey, you ain't going to escape your judgment. Neither are you going to escape with your spoils, man. You're going to become a spoil. All right? Starting with the elites. They're going to be the main spoilers.
They're going to be first up the state.
Job chapter 34, verse 21. For his eyes are upon the way of men, and he seeth where he's going. There is no darkness, no shadow of death, when the works of iniquity may hide themselves.
I got something to go with you said. This is Proverbs 15 and 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good.
Yep.
And Most High, he got the angels on point, recording everything.
I got no. As I said, 29 and 15. Woe to them that seek evil, to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the words say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?
And Esau, you quake, man. You know, that's why we read the scripture, because the Lord already know what you're about to do before you do it. That's how we know Esau is trying to go in outer space and build this little domicile up there to try to escape.
Hey, but through the Lord, we know what Esau is going to do.
Yeah.
Trying to do, attempting to do. You know?
So, Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 17, verse 20. I'll start at 19. It says, therefore, all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him, but all their sins are before the Lord. And Amos, going back to Amos' line, the eyes of the Lord are upon a sinful kingdom. They will destroy them off the face of the earth. You know? And what's beautiful is, I don't know if y'all was able to see that lesson that Elder Yashawamba put up this past week, or it might have been last week. Basically, it showed like an aerial view of the world and the traffic of the chariots.
Yep.
And you notice that they were all mainly
In the U.S.
in America, really on the Western Hemisphere.
It looked like it was glowing.
It was all of Babylon was glowing. So you know that the eyes of the Lord are definitely over Babylon.
And I believe that those sightings that stopped in 2014.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know, all those sightings, that people doing, all those chariot activities, that was 2014. You know, all the way up to the point of 2014. You know, going 2014 to 2021.
We know it's been way more. Way more.
You know?
We see him at camp every other week. You know? So we know Esau season.
And that should give brothers more assurance and hope.
Faith.
Faith, because you know that the Lord got into a lock where he just, no matter what's going on this soil, I see everything. I know everything, right? Well, if the Most High is with you and he knows everything, what are you to be worried about?
Yeah.
You know? That's why I ain't worried about this devil trying to come knock on my door and try to get me to take that, you know what? I ain't worried about him. We already know the Lord is he's watching closely.
Yep.
Psalm 68:17, the chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. And one angel can destroy the whole planet Earth. Thousands of angels.
But the Nahum chapter 1 and verse 3, Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and without it all wicked. Yahweh has his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm, and in the clouds of the dust of his feet.
And whirlwind. Outside, coming back in the fathership. A chariot bigger than the whole earth. It's people say that every eye shall see. Whether you over here on the West Coast, or whether you all the way in China somewhere, everyone's gonna see that chariot. You know, and we know what those are, what those UFOs are, so-called UFOs are, the chariots of the Most High. You know, you ask a regular Jacob, what do you think about those UFO sightings and everything on UFOs? Oh, I don't know, you know. And it's the government, it's the drones. Nah, man, it's chariots. That's dangerous.
Those are coming.
Yeah. But our people, they won't believe that until they actually see it. But when they see the chariots ain't, they not gonna be friendly and, oh, you know, hi. They're gonna be zapping people, man. You know, those are times we're living in. Esau knows that. Esau, you gotta understand the technology that this devil has. They ain't just got no telescope where they looking out their bedroom window. They got the shit where they can look into outer space and they see the damn chariots on a HD and shit. You know? They like, you know the little footage that they show us on YouTube and stuff, or the little radar? Esau got the shit where they can see it clear. And that's why they trembling. That's why they're making all these moves now. You know?
Let's hold up all this food.
Yeah.
You know, let's get our bunkers in place. You know, let's get our spaceships. You know, we got our space force. You know, we got this. We gonna overcome this. And that's the pride that's deceiving him in his own heart.
Yep.
He really think that he has a shot, like he can offset the will of the Most High. And that's the delusion that the Most High put into him. They're gonna stockpile all the best foods. You know, that's what they're doing. And so that they can hide themselves from the judgment.
Second Ezra chapter 13, and
Now we're about to get into the house of
I start at the top. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And behold, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance looked, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
that man that watched over the outside. There were the thousands with him of the angels. You know, what's that, Isaiah 31? His birds fly. You know, so that the son of man. When he comes back, coming back in the formation. You know, like a militarized formation. You know, when you see that, prepare for war.
You know how Jake goes to a place where he been, and Jake go up in there deep. They got a big ass entourage with him. Like it's just an army of niggas. Man, them niggas is deep. Don't start this stuff with them niggas, man. They gonna fuck up the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's all like in that movie, the music video of 50 Cent in the club. They was actually coming into the club and 50 was in the front. And he had all the goons following him into the club. That was like a formation how they walked through like we did. You know? Hey, that's how Yahweh Shai's gonna make his great entrance, man.
Yeah.
He's coming with the fathership and then you're gonna have all the other ships, you know, right beside him, man.
Remember on that Martin Lawrence, he was so crazy when he was talking about Edomites in the store, you know, where the toothpaste at?
Yeah.
And then he said, you know, if this is one of you, you know, can you spell toothpaste? They said, can you show us?
Yeah.
You know, showing that it's a group. And he show you how Edomite humbles down. Oh, I'll show you where it's at. That's how these Edomites are gonna be. They're gonna humble down at that moment. These proud ass devils that you see that turn their nose up at the prophets, turn their nose up at you regular jakes, they're gonna humble down. They say every knee shall bow. You know? They're not gonna be, they don't bow like these fighter jets and stealth bombers and shit. That's nothing. When that father shit, the outside angels come back, yo, they gonna bow with their heads down. They gonna be afraid to look up because of the power. Go back in this verse.
It says that, I think it was in Matthew, or about 21, where Yahweh Shai said, that men's hearts are filled with fear. They're witnessing the things that are coming upon the earth. It's gonna be like when a blast goes off, but you wasn't given warning that shit was gonna go off. So when it happens, immediately your heart jumps. You immediately like, you know. That's how the people are gonna be when the Lord shows up with the angels.
You know how they got this sonic boom?
Yeah.
Imagine when that chariot cracks that inside the what do you call it? Atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna cause those waves. You know, it's gonna cause those currents to start acting. And that's when the waters is gonna start forming tsunamis. And it's gonna be, you know, devastating, you know, parts of the land. Man. It's gonna throw off coasts, all the different coasts will be covered in water.
The Independence Day movie came out in 95 when the chariots, broke the atmosphere, the whole earth was shaking, earthquakes.
And you know, when you mentioned that movie, you know, I watched it like maybe a few months ago when they said something in there that caught my attention. It shows you that Esau didn't know about the chariots because the news reporter said, "Oh, this aerial phenomenon." And then back in '95, so what do they call them now?
Yeah.
They were calling UFOs for so long, but now they're calling them unidentified
Aerial phenomenon.
Phenomenon. So they used that word way back then. Yeah. But they were using the word phenomenons back in '95. So this devil knows. I'll read that verse. Verse 2 Ezra 13:2. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And behold, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
So when the Lord cracked the skies with the angels, all the inhabitants of the earth don't tremble, don't be afraid. And the Christians call it Jesus' second coming. When the Lord comes back, that's what we're reading right now. The name is outside.
And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire.
Those chariots are weaponized, man. With lasers, concentrated laser fire. So when the Lord comes back with his angels, he's going to be zapping them. Like the movie Water Worlds, these different so-called alien movies that come out, zapping people,
Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 10. It says, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence?
That's what them lasers gonna do, man. Them lasers are so hot, they vaporize your whole body.
Kind.
It can vaporize the whole damn building. They turn that shit into powder.
Burn all your organs up with your body, with the water in your body and shit.
Yeah.
Turn it into powder.
Real quick on the verse. It says the earth quaketh and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. That's what it calls tsunamis all over the place. Earthquakes, the whole earth is going to roll to and fro like a drum.
Volcanoes,
And that's
erupts
just the
abroad.
presence of the Lord coming
Just
in
at his
at
presence.
his
man.
presence.
Shit is going to be collapsing.
You know, and they ain't even got busy yet. He just came to the party, he just walked in. And then shit's gonna just
It's going to react.
man.
It's going to react.
That's the presence of the Lord.
Sound of that trumpet too.
Yeah. I got, if I can't one more, this is in Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 21. It says, I'll start at 20, it says, his severe wrath shall be sharpened for a sword, and the world shall fight with them against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out as a stone boat, and with the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the floods shall cruelly drown them. Yeah, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty.
Hey, the Lord's coming back to bring judgment, man.
Yeah.
That's the wrath of the Lord, man. You know, concentrated laser fire, tapping people, you know, to powder. You know, that's gonna be in the time of the MOB. You know, so the angel see, you know, our people that has the MOB up in them, they get zapped. The Lord is coming back to do two things: bring the sword and also save. Deliver. That's why his name is Al-Shai. He's the deliverer. He is the deliverer. All right? He's going to deliver the elect, 144,000 from the 1/3. The so-called goes out to the Americans. All right?
This is back in 2nd Ezra 13 and 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
All right, so that's going to be in the midst of World War III. All right? And so all these nations that's fighting in the Middle East amongst each other, against each other, you know, they're gonna turn their sights, they're gonna turn their power, their military power toward the Lord, the angel. Right? Yeah.
But I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it.
So this chair is big as a mountain.
Mountain range.
Big ass mountain. What's the biggest mountain range? Like Mount Everest or something like that? Kilimanjaro. You know, all that mountain range. That's how big the chair is. You know, all the shit.
But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
Yeah. So these mere mortals, you know, these military men, they're gonna be afraid to fight the Lord. You know, and hey, they gotta fight the Lord because the Lord is coming to basically change their whole way of life. You know, so the way of life that you know it, society you know it as today, the Lord is coming to change it, to destroy all that, you know, and establish His kingdom. All right, under the guise of the law, statutes, and commandments.
And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
The chariots are not flesh, it's made of spirit. Right? Yeah, you don't need no oil change for a chariot. You don't need to put JP8 gas in the chariot. It works on all the spirit and spiritual.
Yeah, the Lord's going to use celestial technology.
Yeah, that's right.
Their technology, like that one guy said, he said, their technology is 100 to 1,000 years advanced than our technology.
Yep.
Hey, and saying 100, that's still Esau being prideful as shit, bro.
100,000
Yeah.
years, Esau couldn't come up with the technology.
Gun.
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests.
Yep. It's like that movie Independence Day. Came the orifice of the chariot, shot down a beam of light, and a big explosion happened. That's where they get it from. 2nd Ezra 13. They got that whole movie, that whole scene from the scripture.
And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burnt them up every one, so that upon a sudden of innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
That great wrath the Lord's going to protect. Alright? Chariot shooting out laser fire, man. It's going to be a horrifying time in history.
What's beautiful about it is, it's going to be a display of the Lord revealing His right hand at its strongest. The Lord's going to really because you got mighty men that'll, He could just throw it just a bop, and you'd be like, damn, that shit. But He ain't hit you with all his, with the ultimate power shot. You don't even want to know what that feels like. But the Lord, He's going to show the world that one shot that He can throw. And guess what? This is also going to be that same moment is going to be a victory for His elect, for His people. Because this is going to be a display of the power that's behind these people that's been without power for so long.
Right.
These people were on the bottom. It seemed like they were helpless. They had no might, no power. It seemed like it was just they were helpless. They didn't have anything. So these nations felt like, well, we can rule over these people however, whenever, how long we want to. But when the Lord comes back and do what He's going to do, it's going to be a reality check. And that's when we're going to be magnified again, just like in Egypt. These nations, after that happened, and the fame of it, these nations, they had a fear for us.
They don't have that.
Yeah, because the Lord hasn't shown His power in that manner in so long.
And the Lord showed His power. He wasn't even on a level of whoever read it. He was just making the sea go back so He could pass through. The plagues. He wasn't on where the Lord is really showing you, this is me. This is what I'm about. This is my people.
Real quick, this is Psalms 77, and I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, Thou art the Most High that doest wonders. God has declared Thy strength among the people. We're declaring you His strength right now by prophesying how the Lord's getting ready to display that power. All right, it's going to be a wonder that nobody's ever seen. It says, Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people, the sons of Jacob and Joseph, Salah. The waters saw thee, O power. The waters saw thee, they were afraid. Going back to when you read about that multitude, when you read about the waters, that's a metaphor for the armies. It talks about when the enemy shall come in like a flood. Somebody get out Psalms 124 just to back that up. That basically the proud waters, that's talking about our enemies in the form of their armies, their militaries.
I got it.
In Psalms chapter 124, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side, how many Israel say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick, when their wrath was kindled against us. Then the waters had overwhelmed us.
In the waters. So those same group of men that King David is talking about your adversaries in the form of their armies. Alright? Basically you being outnumbered.
Then the proud waters have gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord, who had not given us as a prey to their teeth. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we are escaped.
And what's beautiful about that also is like when you read in Revelation 11, where it says that when we get caught up into the cloud, it says that everybody's our enemies are going to behold us.
Good.
The waters, they're going to actually look up and see that strange phenomenon happening where we, which were at one point in time appointed as slaves, we were a hate group, we were a part of a cult, we were extremists, we were bums, we were this, we were that. They're going to see us actually beamed up as this whole thing is happening. Right?
Yep.
So read that. Read that one more time, and then we'll go back to Psalm 77. And also, when you can precept it with Revelation 17, where it says that the waters that the great word sent before is the nations, it says the nation, the time,
Yeah, I got it.
Revelation 17. You can get it real quick.
Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Multitudes. So those waters, that's going to see when the Lord comes back talking about these nations. And their armies, they're going to be front and center because it's going to be a complete confrontation between the Lord and his angels versus the devil and his angels.
Yep.
Because a lot of these armies, they're going to be in the east.
Yeah.
The Lord is coming from the east to the west. Alright, so that's what it is. That's 2 Corinthians 13. The Lord is going to shoot down that fire, and destroy the armies over there in the Middle East.
Go back to that.
Back to Psalms 124, verse 4. Then the waters had overwhelmed us, the stream had gone over our soul. Then the proud waters had gone over our soul. Blessed be the Lord, who had not given us to their teeth.
That's talking about proud waters. Right. He's not talking about actual water. No, he's talking about
People.
Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers.
Yeah, when we get beat up into the chariot, our soul will be escaped from the judgment.
Yeah.
We're gonna be escaped from Esau's oppression, man.
escape from the curses.
Yeah. This devil trying to come against us. back in Psalm 77, at verse 16, it says, the waters saw thee, O power, the waters saw thee, they were afraid. The depths also were troubled. The clouds poured out water, the skies sent out a sound, which is what? The sound of a trumpet. Right? Thine arrows also went abroad. That's the laser, the laser fire. Right? So hey, you got Esau's missiles. Those are the arrows, and then the chariots. They're gonna be shooting. They're gonna have their own fire. Right? Okay. It ain't gonna be just the missiles that's gonna be destroying shit. The Lord and the angels are gonna be destroying shit. They're gonna have their fight. The missiles, that's just gonna be the finishing touches. You know? The Lord's gonna burn up when we need to burn up. And then the missiles are just gonna
wipe through it.
Sweep it up. Sweep it up, man.
Isaiah 14:23. I will also make it a possession from the bittern and pools of waters, and I will sweep it with the vessel of destruction, says the Lord of hosts.
That's man.
That's confirmed.
Yeah, man. That Beza is talking about like a broom. So he gonna use those missiles to sweep this filth, this trash, man. You know?
Listen to that. When he said detonation, it's like a secret motion. We're talking about 200 million in this place. So it's gonna
wipe everything. It's gonna uproot all these trees that we see. You know? Knock down all these towers, blow away all these towers. The skyscrapers gonna come down.
Like the land that we standing on, that shit gonna be like probably 100, 200 feet below because of the blast.
Fervent heat. It's gonna melt up this concrete, break this concrete up. You know, all those underground tunnels and pipes and pipe lines and all that shit is gonna get dissolved. You know?
Shit, that's gonna be. The Mosai gotta be with those elites to preserve them from this blast. But they on the ground in America, just the
I don't see none of them making it out of
they gotta have it pumped elsewhere.
They're probably gonna be somewhere in another country.
Yeah.
Another continent.
A lot of them are going to New Zealand and Australia to build bunkers and have like the so-called safe havens. But we know when Psalms 158, 148 says about buying them with change.
Psalm 149. It says, verse 18. It says, the voice of thy thunder was in the heaven, the lightnings lightened the world, the earth trembled and shook. Like you just read in 2nd Ezra 13, it says that all they under thee, all they trembled, that were found to wonder him. It says, thy way is in the sea, and thy path in the great waters, and thy footsteps are not known. Thou leddest thy people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. The Lord's going to do the same thing when he leads us out of Babylon, out of the land of the north. We're going to sing the song of Moses again. We'll be in the chariot.
Was Habakkuk 3, brother?
That's you said that we're going to sing the song of Moses. That's a clear cut Christian that's saying that we're all coming together and it's only Israelites who sang that song of Moses leaving Egypt.
All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 8. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? Thy bow was made quite naked. According to the oaths of the tribes, even thy words say lie. Did cleave to the earth and the rivers. Alright? So when this destruction happens, it's going to destroy everything. It's going to destroy the trees. It's going to basically dry out the rivers, and the lakes. mountains saw thee and they trembled. This is verse 10. The mountains saw thee and trembled.
Hey, they were afraid.
Yeah.
They trembled. That word tremble keeps coming up. They're going to be terrified.
Yep.
The Lord still will put that spirit on them to harden themselves to try to fight back anyway.
And those mountains represent the covenant.
Kind.
Like when they have them summits, that's what a summit means.
No, kind.
We're a hill.
Summit is the bottom, top.
Top.
The United Nations aren't UN. You know, they have a certain division called the 10th Mountain Division. There's a clue right there. The mountains saw thee and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. The sun and moon stood in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear, thou didst march through the land thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointing.
Wait. Read that back, like that last verse, down to what you just read, because what this is saying is, the Lord is going to fuck nations up while he's delivering his people.
Habakkuk 3 and 11, the sun and the moon stood in their habitation, in the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear, thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger.
He threshed the heathen in anger. He said that he's angry with the wicked every day. Right? The Lord, he's sitting in the heavens and he's witnessing everything. All right? All your abominations, the bloodshedding of the saints, the confusion, the lies, the robberies. Yeah. No judgment, no righteous judgment going forth in the earth. Everybody doing what the hell they want to do. Everybody blaspheming the image of the Lord and his son.
Changing his doctrine.
Yeah. And you see what's powerful is how Shai ain't even here yet, and you already see the Lord has already visited these nations. Fucking their asses up with all the floods and tornadoes, typhoons, wildfires, man. He's already beginning to start spanking you, but that ain't nothing. This is just the beginning of your ass.
Beginning of your sorrow. And you other nation. Verse 13, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation of thine anointing. Thou wouldest the head out the house of the wicked, by disturbing the foundations unto the neck, Selah. Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly.
Yeah, they're going into their secret council to destroy the Lord's people. Their eyes are privily set against the poor. Marketplaces. Yep. Marketplaces in the villages. Yeah, man. Trying to basically destroy it. Let us Psalms 83.
Yeah.
Cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being a nation. And then Israel be no more. So now the Lord is getting with this is the Lord confronting our enemies. Right? Now we finally got our power backing us to confront our enemies who have their foot upon our necks, man.
Kind.
Where?
Thou didst walk us through the sea with thine horses, through the heap of great waters. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered my bones, and I trembled in myself that I might rest in damn trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops.
Kind of his army.
It's gonna be an invasion, man. The Lord's getting ready to invade your world, Esau. And he even said that was Habakkuk. So when he envisioned, he had the vision of this.
Yeah.
That terrified him.
Terrifying.
He said he wanted to be at rest when that happened.
God.
I wanted to be in the spirit world when this go down on the earth. You know?
All the prophets, you know, they felt that way. Like, you know, as Lord,
How am I going to survive that? You know, they wasn't even sure. Like, damn,
That's why he buys us. I know that.
they saw the power, you know, in that vision. Lord came with it, man.
Yeah.
They saw that, man. He came with it. You know? And you understand why when the prophets had these visions and when they woke up, and they was pulling their hair off their head, off their beard throwing up.
They had to sick to the stomach.
They just had to take a break.
Yeah.
For getting the vision. You know, he had to, 6, 7 days off or something. You know, it's too much to do right now. Then, you know, the angel revealed more prophecy to him, but these are heavy visions. They saw it like they were there.
Yeah.
You know? And brothers and his sisters that have visions, you know, in these last days, even the heathen nations, they have visions.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them, you know, they're terrified. We had one chick, she was crying. She said she saw the Lord and saw the destruction. This shit is heavy. And to know that we're about to live through this, Lord willing, we're part of the elect, you know, you gotta get yourself right. You know, we're telling you what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. We just don't know. We're not in it yet. But it's here. That time is here.
Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulations of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. Now this is Yahushua saying what's going to happen when he comes back. Right?
It
Verse
said
30.
the power is what?
Shall be shaken.
Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
And when you internalize that, we know that the Lord he speaks in metaphors, similitude, parables. We know that the sun, the moon, and the stars and all that, that's going to get blocked out when the Lord actually, you know, comes back and shows up. But also the light that Esau looks to, which is his wise men, his soothsayers, his
prognosticators,
all his witches and warlocks, they ain't gonna have no answer for what's happening.
Hey, like
so basically they're gonna be darkened. They're gonna try to seek to these things, and it's gonna be to no avail. Nothing's gonna answer them. So it's gonna be blocked out. The Lord's gonna make sure that they have no power to really respond to it. You know, that's gonna really devastate these devils. It says that the powers, meaning the authorities, they're gonna be shaken. They're gonna be in fear, man. It even tells you that in Jeremiah, I believe it's either the 50th or 51st chapter, where it says that the king got heard of the report and was sore terrified. You can find that from the book of the show. So yeah, things are going to be shaken up, meaning the world's going to shake, it's going to quake, and the Lord's going to black out the heavens, so it's going to be pretty dark and gloomy, but also the light that these nations have is going to be darkened. Right? Scientists and witches, wizards, there's nothing that they're going to be able to do for you. You know? It's like in the movies.
Yeah, all the earth is going to move.
Kai.
Got something?
I actually go to 50. Try 50.
What you got?
Second Ezra 15 and 37.
Yeah, all right, come up a little bit. Bring it out quick.
Second Ezra 15 and 37. Yes. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon the earth. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them.
There you go.
Kai.
Yep. So the Lord's gonna bring down your spiritual pride by fear. Right? The Lord's gonna bring the worst fear right to your doorstep. Right?
I got it. Jeremiah 50 and 43. The king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail.
Yep. So they're gonna get weak and fearful.
That's that same king of Babylon in Isaiah 14 chapter.
Yeah, man. They're gonna hear that report and they're gonna get real. They're gonna melt inside, man. You know?
Because Esau nowadays when she gets up, they resort back to the sword. Their laws. In this moment, they know there's nothing that they have in their possession that can save them, that can deliver them from this trouble. And that's why he said they're going to be people. They're going to be hurt, melt, like you said, melt inside. Damn, what am I going to do? We know what we're going to do. We know what our power is. We know of these things, and we don't know when it's going to come, but we know that these prophecies are going to happen, they're going to take place.
Yep.
Yeah, but if a person gets some fear, then it's locked up. Their complexion turns like pale or whatever.
Countenance.
Yeah. That's what these elites gonna be looking like, and the whole even the elected will be in awe. Matthew 24:30. And then
Get Revelation 11.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of the trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
I got it. This is Revelation 6 and 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bond and free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
That's a rhetorical question.
Hope you understand the day of the Lord. All these rich men, mighty men, these so-called billionaire, trillionaires, they ain't gonna have an answer in that day. They're gonna have a keyboard. The day of the Lord is a serious matter, and the only one that is taking it seriously is the hopeful elect. Everyone else is walking around, in their own world, not thinking that these times, that these things are going to happen, that these things are going to take place in their lifetime.
That's why it's gonna catch you.
Yeah, like it tells you in 2 Peter, some they count the day's slackness. They think that the Lord is prolonging, his time. We know that the Lord said,
On the
he's not
other
going to
stream whatever, it had like change the camera so they could like see the water.
He said, I come quickly. Blessed is he that watches. I come quickly. You see? The Lord he's just going to show up, man. He's going to pull up.
The Lord's opening the day. Don't pull up. Okay, yeah, you talking that shit, you talking tough, Lord's gonna pull up on your ass. But hey, want 2/3 of our people too.
pulling up on everybody. He's gonna pull up. He's pulling up on the whole
Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. And after 3 days and they have the spirit of life, the Most High Yahweh entered into them.
Yep.
And they stood upon their feet.
We know this is going. You can read further, going into Ezekiel 37 chapter. Our Lord basically bringing life back into us. Now the nation of Israel is being built back up like in the time of old. And these nations they're seeing that. They're seeing us, return and we're building just like in the time of old. That's why, like during the time of the Persians, he was in the midst of building the second temple. You had these nations that kept on trying to put out reports against us. They were trying to intervene and try to, hey, can we build with y'all? No, you ain't got no part in this.
Ain't good money, man.
We're going to build our temple to our God.
Right.
So these nations are in fear of what they're starting to see, man. The last 40, 50 years or so, this truth going forth, walked up the four corners of the world.
Yep.
These devils are trembling, man. And then that's happening while there's all these massive chariot sites, all these uproars of the people, all these strange occurrences and phenomenons appearing all across the world.
All these what is it called? Blood moon.
Yeah, all these signs and
eclipses and
heavens.
stuff. Like they say, like we talk about eclipses that haven't happened for what they say centuries.
Yeah.
Or longer than that. So it's not like always something that happens every other year. These occurrences are happening and rapidly. More current, more frequent.
Those all signs of the Lord's coming.
As well as the prophets. Us being out here, all the brothers, all the Hakim going the four winds, being out here doing this, that's also part of the sign. Right?
Back in Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. And after 3 days when they have the spirit of life, the Most High Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. A great fear fell upon them, which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither.
It said, wait, hold on. It said, a great fear fell upon them and saw them. And the waters, they're gonna see and they're gonna be afraid. Right? Go ahead.
And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither.
About hither, that's the chariots of Israel, the chariots of salvation, come to save his people. Alright? That's when the rim is going to get picked up for the full point. That's going to be something to see. When these other nations, they're going to be like, what? They're going to be dumbfounded. They're going to be
You got second and seven?
They're going to be sore confounded. Oh, shit.
They ascended up to heaven with a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
They all saw it. They all got to see it. And in that moment, Lord willing, we'll be like each brother. You have like enemies in the world, whether it be your family or 2/3 niggas that you had problems with, or a nigga woman that did you wrong, adulterous wife or whatever. I pray and hope that they get to see that too. That they see you going up while they stay waiting to get zapped. Alright? That's when they're really going to be guilty. Alright? They're going to be totally ashamed and confounded in that moment.
Yep.
It's going to be gnashing, weeping, wailing, and gnashing the teeth. Okay?
The same hour, there was there a great earthquake
In that same hour was a big ass devastating earthquake. It's gonna be off the Richter. It ain't gonna be within the scale that we have now. That goes up to just 10.
Right.
So it's gonna be off the charts.
Some big ass cracks open up in the ground, swallow people. It's something to see.
It's gonna be sinkholes on that kind of enormous rate. You know?
Volcanoes going off.
Whole states just going into the ocean. Disappearing. IMS is just disappearing.
It's out of Earth's revealed.
Yep. Now Babylon, even though when it happens, Babylon's still gonna be here because it's smoke. So it might be some of the land that might go down into the water, but the land is gonna be here. It's gonna be smoke.
Yeah, it's a memorial.
Desolate pictures and stuff, like Sodom and Gomorrah. But I think the islands, some of the nearby islands don't get
Swallowed.
That shit gonna get swallowed.
That's the life.
The Lord gonna make sure those that are elect, that's over there, they gonna get beat up so that they don't,
Yeah, kind.
drown in that devastated, water.
And if they don't, they gonna damn sure get some more back from kids where Florida. Don't think that Puerto Rico or all the Puerto Islands, they gonna kill them. They gonna get the destruction too.
Big tsunami, you get hella tsunami warnings. That's why it's you be blessed to have been on that chariot.
Yeah.
Basically being off the earth in that time. Going back to what Habakkuk said, he said, man, he'd rather be at rest when that time comes. Either being in a chariot or being in the spiritual realm would be the only safe place for you.
In the same hour, there was a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell.
That's all of Babylon. All of America is going to get wasted. The 10th part of the city fell. We know that this country, when you go according to zip codes, there's 10 regional zips where it goes from 0 to 9, which it starts from the east all the way to California. It's the 9. That's why all the area codes it starts with it's like the zip code starts with a 9.
Yeah.
Right? So basically from California across Babylon all the way to Maine, this place is gonna get
And the ants it's gonna get swept. And the ants of Babylon ain't gonna be touched.
Go ahead.
And the earthquake for slain men, 7,000.
Which is a complete number. We don't know how many, it's not literally 7,000.
Right.
Right? Because we know that there's over 300 million people here. We don't know what the number's going to look like after the elect is being up out of here. But whatever numbers is left after that, that's the amount of people that's getting slaughtered. That's going to get built. All right? Automatically cremated. Go ahead.
And the remnant were frightened.
And the remnant were fighting, meaning the elect that did get rescued. Because it tells you in Peter that the righteous shall scarcely be saved. So you already know we're going to make it by the skin of our teeth. Because right when this destruction happened, we got the chariots over us. You know, you might have that moment, that 1 second of uncertainty, like, shit, like, and then before you know it, you just got changed in the twinkling of an eye, and the Lord just picked you up, snatched you up. going to be unfrighted in that moment. But then when you finally realize that you just made it, and now you're in the presence of the Lamb, man, you're going to immediately start giving it up.
Kind.
It says the women were affrighted and they did what?
Give glory. Power of heaven.
Give glory, man. Give the glory where the glory is due. Right? You just got delivered, man. From the second death.
Second woe is death. And behold, quick.
And when it's going to be, when the Lord comes back, it's going to be in the midst of the trouble. Right? Because it's coming quickly now. Right? So,
And the seventh angel sounded.
Isaiah 26 and verse 19. My dead men shall live together with my dead body, shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in dust. For thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead.
that's talking about resurrection. Dead in the outside shall be raised first. So we can't forget about that too. You're going to have those of us that are alive and remaining, and you're going to have those who died in the Lord, who are, whether they were martyred, got beheaded for the witness, whether they died, in the ministry. They're going to be raised back up out of the graves. That earthquake is going to happen. Just like when Yahushua, when he died on that cross,
Kind.
caused that great earthquake. And people rose up out of their graves. Back to Jerusalem.
That's power, bro. Come on, bro.
He worthy to worship.
Bro.
That's
What?
power.
Jake full of shit, bro.
Daniel 12:2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
Verse 20. Come, my people, enter into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself.
That's me what?
Kind.
Going into that ship.
True.
There's going to be an opening. We're going to be going up through. And then once all the elect are pretty much there, it's going to shut. It's going to close up, man. Nobody else is getting in. Just like Noah's Ark.
Most High shut the ark.
Yeah.
And shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish.
And what is that indignation? That shall be overpassed.
The fire.
The destruction.
Yep.
When the Lord's basically judging this world. All right? Him and the angels going to be tearing shit up. Really, he going to have the angels. They gonna be getting it in. Michael, he gonna be commanding, under the order of Yahushua to go and, zap them, go over there and zap them. You got the NATO troops over there, zap, take them out. Take the jets over there, take them out. Easy work.
Yeah.
They gonna be having fun with this shit, man. They gonna be trying to shoot back at the angel. The angel gonna be like, motherfuckers really think they can.
What's that video? That video where the missiles hit
Oh,
the
kind.
They actually hit the chariots and it didn't destroy the chariots or nothing.
Yeah.
Just splattered, look like it splattered, and then the chariots kept
Damn.
going what they was doing.
Yeah, the chariots can easily dodge the missiles, but
He said, why? Kind.
For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain.
Go. But go back to that Revelation 11. Because hey, the indignation is, the earthquake, the lasers from the chariots, the missiles coming down and hitting. We gonna be in a ship. So that indignation can be overpassed, so we don't be on the earth and be a partaker of those plagues. Alright? That's why it says in Revelation 18, come up hither.
Yep.
Come
Come up out of her, my people, that thou be now the partaker of her plagues, man. This is all going to happen in 1 hour. Get that?
Back to Revelation 11, verse 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord.
So when this whole thing goes down, and once we're in the ship, and all these nations get jacked up and subdued, then the whole world is going to become Yahushua's world.
Yeah.
Jacob's world. Esau's world is now phased out. It's passed away now. He no longer has dominion on the earth anymore.
Yep.
All right? He does not have the authority that he has right now. He will no longer have that authority. He will not have the power to shut the world down, lock the world down.
Oh.
None of that shit. Man. Tell you to put a damn face diaper on your face. All right? That's done. That's finished.
Yeah, no maritime laws, no laws about the air traffic control,
Yeah.
no shit like that.
The nations fighting over airspace and shit.
Yeah.
Putting up no-fly zones. Shit.
See what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna set up a no-fly zone for the angels.
No more Congress, presidents, politicians, lawyers, judicial systems. All that shit's done. Yep, it's done. It is done. It's
All your
finished.
governments are gonna be obsolete. Now, Yahushua and his government that he's
Yep.
gonna have on his shoulder, that's gonna be the government that all nations are gonna have to seek to.
Which are the prophets? Prophets are that government. Yep. That King David. 12 apostles.
Done.
That's the prophets. That's the government.
The Masharak
Yeah.
government. And the word government means mind control.
Hmm.
And that's how we know that the world to come is going to be a righteous world, because we're gonna control people's minds to be righteous. Right now, this devil on the left hand side is controlling the people's minds to be wicked. You know?
I was just thinking like, we gotta get extremely wicked or highly favored to be preserved for that day.
Yeah, because there's only two fates.
Yeah.
You're either going to be preserved for deliverance or for destruction. Now, that's not to say that in different parts of the world that there's not going to be remnants of people alive that's going to get to see it. Yeah. Because we got to, where we going to get our servants?
Gone. It's
says,
Revelation 18.
Other nations should,
They're going to be well, or
Yeah, it says standing afar off.
standing up for what? They're going to be well for the smoke of the Lord.
Yep.
Saying our last, that really is nothing. So obviously there's going to be people on earth. There's going to be a lot of devastation in the world too.
Yeah.
Isaiah 14 says the strangers shall lead unto the house of Jacob. And those strangers are the Israelite rulers.
Yep.
There's still going to be Israelites in the land. They're going to lead to their election.
And there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of the Lord and of his anointed. shall reign forever and ever.
He shall reign forever and ever. So basically, all these other nations, their million is going to be taken from them. And Yahweh Shai is going to come back and take their kingdom. Alright? You go to, was that Daniel 7? Son of Man came to the ancient of days. To him was dominion given.
Yep.
That was already promised to him, you know, from the beginning. You know?
Reading.
You can get it.
Daniel 7 and 27. And the
Because it
king,
also tells you, I don't know if it's in that same chapter where it says the nations already had their dominion. The dominion already had an end or something like that. That's going back to the earliest rulers of the Babylonian empire. And all these nations, they all had their empires come and go. The Medo-Persians, the Greeks,
The Assyrians,
the Assyrians,
Romans.
Rome, well, Egyptians, that was, but as far as going back to the Assyrians and then the Babylonians, the four beasts, they're gonna have their dominions already came and went. And Esau was going to be the last dominion. That's why I said Esau is the king of the world. Alright? So get that?
Daniel 7 and 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nation, and languages shall serve him.
Hold that. Now go back to that Revelation 11:15. So Daniel prophesied of that. John the Revelator saw it in the vision, prophesied of that. So the Lord's coming back to take spoils.
Yeah.
He's coming back to conquer the land of Judah. He's coming to come back to claim what's rightfully his, which is this earth, and also his people.
God.
Alright? Read that again.
Revelation 11:15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices from heaven, saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of the Lord and of his anointed, and he shall reign forever and ever.
He shall reign forever and ever. Go back to that in Daniel.
Daniel 7 and 13. I say in a night vision, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And he was given, and there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting.
Everybody's going to worship.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to worship the house.
And should serve him, and his dominion and his everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Go from there to Daniel 2. As it says that his kingdom will never be destroyed. We've gotten our kingdom destroyed many times.
Yeah.
You know? Enemies came in and took us down. We lost battle, whatever. When Yahweh Shai comes back, he wins the ultimate war, ultimate battle. There will never be a way for the nation to ever be able to take us down again.
God.
All right?
Daniel 2 and 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
That's it. Breaking pieces these kingdoms. Right? We're going to break them all down in that war.
Yeah.
We're going to beat them with power. And it says that his kingdom should not be left to other people.
Yeah.
That means what? That the kingdom, it's not going to be not one point within the kingdom where there's going to be an opening for another nation
Yeah.
to try to creep up like Haman did, try to
Overthrow.
some type of authority or throne in our kingdom. That's not going to happen. It's not going to be left to no other nation. You know how like empires, every empire had a time where they succeeded and a time when they were succeeded. The Babylonians, they preceded the Assyrians,
Yep.
but they were succeeded by the
Medo-Persians. Yep.
The Medo-Persians, they preceded the Babylonians, but they were succeeded
By the Greeks.
By the Greeks.
Yep.
All right. Well, our kingdom is not going to have any
Successor.
successor.
Kind.
It's going to be that way from here on out for all eternity.
World without end.
A world without end. How shall I be confounded? Neither a world without end.
And that government gonna last for all eternity.
Because we're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments written in us, so we're never going to sin and go off. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, we're going to be righteous because we're going to have the second covenant.
Yeah, kind.
in us. So we're going to be perfect. As long as we're perfect, the Lord said He would dwell in the tabernacle of men.
And righteousness is immortal.
Kind.
You know? So we're going to have extreme power over these other nations, man. There ain't going to be nothing that they can do about it. All right? Esau ain't going to have his sword. He ain't going to have none of his weapons. We're going to make sure that's the first thing we strip them away from. All those military weapons,
Them blessings.
missile silos,
Said that in the
drones.
all the weapons going to be destroyed. It's turn your
Yeah. Yeah.
In Ezekiel 39th chapter. Right? It says that go to Isaiah 2. Yeah. They're not going to reward you.
Kind.
Isaiah 2 and
We start at the top.
the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the Most High, to the power of Jacob, and He will teach us His ways, and we will walk in His paths.
That's why when the kingdom is established, we have them build up our walls, the city, and the streets or whatever. We're going to have to be priests to these other nations and teach them in the way of righteousness according to the commandments. All the world's going to learn the law of the Most High. That's how the earth is going to be changed. Okay? They're going to have to come to us. We're going to have to basically teach them. That's how it was intended, really going back to the beginning. It was set up how the sons of God, they were exalted in the garden. All the nations are supposed to learn from us. But we ended up getting corrupted by following
Them.
after the other nations, man. Eat from their trees. But now we know that the Lord set it up that way so that we know good versus evil. So that will help us to be better judges. You know? And we're going to be like basically many powers, gods on the earth. We know it. We're going to literally going to know everything. Right? Go ahead.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And He shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares,
There it is.
and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up.
You're going to go from mighty men with artillery, right, to men of the field, like a slave, a worker, a servant, and you elites as well. gonna go from sitting on top, you know, with all that wealth and all that power. You're gonna go straight to rock bottom. Or you're gonna literally be a bum. You're gonna be living worse than the other nations are gonna be living. At least after the 1,000 years, they're gonna get their inheritance back. They're gonna get their land. Right? We're gonna set them up with a righteous monetary system.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in control of that. It's gonna be righteous. We're gonna have, you know, gold and silver is gonna be the standard. It's not gonna be a credit-based system like the Rothschilds. You know? We're gonna set everybody up right, but you devils, fuck y'all, man. We're gonna just put you off the earth. Go ahead.
And their spears into pruning hooks, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point? Why would you need to learn war? You ain't gonna be able to fuck with us. You know? We got power. We can call out angels to do or put in work for us.
Animals.
We can put the straight on animals to do some shit to you.
Weather.
For us.
You can tell the other nations to come through.
Yeah.
And they inform us, so they're gonna do what we talk.
Control your mind.
He said, have you fucked yourself up?
So there's nothing you can do against us. So it's like, might as well. You know? Get rid of all those, we're gonna get rid of all those weapons, dispose of all those weapons. All right? And you're just gonna come up under us. All right? And we're gonna take your lands.
Best to get best.
That's it, man. That's how it's gonna go, man. And that's gonna be the transition of power. Yahweh Shai is gonna come back. And that's when the final transaction of that transition takes place. Right? All your riches, all your spoils are going to be converted to us. Right? After the ruins of Jerusalem get rebuilt, the gates is going to stay open, except on the Sabbath. Right? Don't have nothing else? Nothing else? No? Alright, well. Close out with the Lord praise for another.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Hakodash.
Come on to the apostles, the great wisdom of the will, the citation of the tabernacle of David, the say Shalom, the
Above, above. Yeah. Can. Huh? 144 on the beans. And it's all white.
Y'all know, right? That's spiritual.
It's all white beans, bro. All white 144.
How long was that like?
2 hours and 40 minutes. 42. Oh,